Hey everybody, Chef Todd here. We're gonna get you going, Cuisine Techniques. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Just started. Anyway, so I was in the mood for some eggs today. And we're gonna make a quick little riff on a Huevos Rancheros. And also we're gonna do a couple quick knife skill lessons to go along with that. One of the other things that we'll be talking about in this episode, if you will, with the Huevos Rancheros, I'm going to make a Hollandaise. It'll be a little riff on a Hollandaise. Instead of using lemon juice, I'm going to use lime, and I'm going to put some other seasonings in it to give it more of that Latin flair to go along with the Huevos Rancheros. And Rufus is coming in to say hi now. Hi, Rufus. Cool. So I got my mise en place all set up here on my tray. I mentioned I'm gonna do a couple knife lessons, so we'll do that first. So from my tray, I need these peppers and this onion. And for now, we'll put this over here. All right. Now we're gonna move the camera. Boom. And now, oops. There we go. Now we're at the cutting board, the cutting station. All right. So the only couple things I gotta cut up here. I'm just gonna grab a bulb of garlic. I love garlic. I don't need a huge one. All right. Nice garlic clove. All peeled off, nice. Get that out of the way. All right, so we got a garlic clove. We're gonna slice that up all nice. I prefer to slice my garlic. Certain things you gotta chop or finely chop, but for today, for this, you can slice. So, like I mentioned before, always make sure you get a good solid grip on your knife, right? I'll start slow so you can see how thin I like it. And then on we're gonna go. All right. Sliced garlic. Let's set that aside. Right over here. Now, I already have some ready to go, but this pepper here we're gonna add with the yellow pepper. Just take the top off real quick. Again, these are just nice mini sweet peppers. I get these at the grocery store. They're really fun. The flavor is great. They hold up to a lot of different styles of cooking. For me, it's a little more efficient than buying a whole pepper and only using part of it and having to store the rest of it and worry about if I'm gonna get back to using the rest of the pepper. So these are great because they're little and you can use the whole thing. So it's good when you're cooking for a small amount of people or just one person. All right, so I've cut it in half and I've taken the seed and the membranes out. So now I'm gonna dice this. So to start with, we're gonna slice in order to get to the dice, right? So depending on how large you want to dice your pepper, that's gonna determine, the initial slice will determine how large your dice will be, right? I want it pretty small, like I have these little cubes here, right? So I'm gonna do about a 1/4 inch. And just go in with a little slice. Maybe it's a little less than a 1/4 inch. All right, so once everything is nice and sliced, you turn it 90 degrees, and then you just square off your slice, and now you have a nice square dice. Right? Everything uniform. Oh, you see one that slid by, not the same size, all right? Everything for the most part is the same size. And this is important when you're cooking things so that everything cooks all at the same temperature, all at the same time. You don't want mushy and crunchy peppers all mixed in with each other. All right, so that's that. That's the peppers. I do need some onions to go along with this, but I don't need this whole onion, obviously. So I'm going to take a little bit of this onion off, and the rest of it I'll just store in a Ziploc in the refrigerator, and it'll be fine for quite a while to use the rest of it. All right. So again, I'm just going to take one end off, and take the stem end off, and sometimes there'll still be a little piece on the inside there, but we can get to that afterwards. All right. Put this aside. To start with, I'm going to cut the onion in half. All right, from the north to the south pole. I definitely don't, I won't even need half of this, so I'm just going to put that aside. And once you've cut it in half, now it's a lot easier to peel, right? So we'll take this peel off. Now, if I was doing, we're at a restaurant, these peels and the little bits of vegetables, you can keep them to put aside, and you can make any sort of chicken stock or vegetable stock if you want to make a soup or something like that. You can save all of that. Or if you have chickens, you can feed your chickens or pigs with it too. Make a compost, that sort of thing. That always comes in handy with that. I don't have the outlet for any of those things, so this unfortunately is trash for me. Like I said, with this little part of the stem that's there, we're just gonna go in real quick on a little triangle cut, and you can cut that right out. Boom. You can put that aside, right? So for the tiny little bit of onion that I need, I'm just gonna take, and again, I'm gonna dice it to be the same size as the peppers that I have here. So I'm just gonna take a couple of slices off of this half of this onion here. And again, we're gonna make that slice the same width as the other peppers. So once I have these slices, now I can basically follow the same train of thinking with the dice on the peppers, right? You have the slice out here ready to go, and if you just follow around the half radius, around the half circle, making the same width of a cut, and now you have diced onion. And it's all the same size as the peppers that we have here, which is what I want. And I can mix them together because I'm going to cook them at the same time. Some recipes with your mise en place and your vegetables that you're dealing with, some recipes you want to keep everything separate because some vegetables you want to cook more than others for certain things. We'll go over some of that in some of the other episodes and lessons that I have planned for everybody. Some of the recipes I want to show everybody, some real simple things. You know, the plan here is to get some restaurant style and restaurant ideas out to everybody's home and out to everybody's fingertips, if you will. You know, I've been a restaurant chef for 30 years, and you know, for me it's not really a big deal to come home and still be able to eat something that I would have out at a restaurant. But not everybody has that availability. So let's get a Ziploc for the rest of the onion. All right, I'll pop this in here. Boom, done. There we go. Okay. Now, the only thing I'm going to keep separate is the garlic, because I want to cook the garlic a little bit before I cook the onions and peppers. So, we'll get its own little container. All right. Bring these over here. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to make a riff on a Hollandaise sauce. So, we'll bring the eggs over here. We'll get that set up for afterwards. And now, we're going to run over to the oven. Stove top. And we're going to start sauteing these peppers and onions. Also here on the stove top, on the back, This is going to be important when we make the hollandaise. This is just a water bath, and I have this is probably 3 tablespoons of butter that I have here, just melted down. So hollandaise is a mother sauce, classified as a mother sauce from the days of our god of all cuisines, Escoffier. So hollandaise is the base for a lot of different things and a lot of different sauces. Béarnaise is another really famous derivative that comes from hollandaise sauce. But we're just gonna do we're making hollandaise sauce at its base, and I'm just kind of twisting it a little bit to go along with our Huevos Rancheros theme here to kind of fit the profile for what I became hungry for today. All right, so as you can see, I have this little saute pan here, and I've got that heating up. I'm gonna start with a pretty good heat underneath this, right? I'm a little bit higher than medium here, I would say, on my gas stove. And I got this nice little 8-inch all-clad saute pan here. This thing is dynamite. All right. We got this guy here. All right, so all I'm doing is just letting the oil heat up a bit here. It's always a good thing to do to one or both of these things, where let your pan heat up before you're gonna cook anything in your pan. 9 times out of 10, that's essential, if not important. And then once your pan is warm as well, another favor you're going to do yourself is to let the oil heat up. The pan's hot, that's great. Now you've put oil in it, and now the temperature is still low. The oil isn't ready to cook anything yet. So I'm letting that oil heat up because I like to get a good roast on this garlic and on these peppers for the sauce that I'm gonna make. All right, just put a little bit of olive oil, pure olive oil in that pan. Let that heat up. And you can see right away the garlic starts cooking instantly. It starts to basically fry as soon as it hits the oil. And that's what we want. All right. You see that color forming on the garlic there. Nice brown. All right. Now I'm going to go in with the peppers and onions. Sizzle, sizzle. This little toss. Saute. That is saute. Saute means to jump. Right. In one of these videos, I'll go over a lesson with that on how to keep everything in the pan, basically. Except for that little guy that jumped out as I'm staring. Right. Now, let me get that cooking real nice in the oil. I'll turn it down just a little bit. Not too much, but I'm turn it down just a tiny bit. Now we're gonna season. Salt. We got pepper. We're gonna season it with salt, pepper, a little crushed red pepper, and some oregano leaves. All right. I have my salt, maybe a ½ teaspoon. Again, best rule with salt, start little, and you can add more. Black pepper, just black pepper. A few turns. I like black pepper, so I'm gonna go with the crushed red pepper. Just a little bit. Dry oregano. Alright. Now you can see that nice color getting on there. In this pan here, we have what's called fond forming, F-O-N-D, fond. And this is all flavor that's on the bottom of the pan there. Again, we'll turn down just a little bit more. Now down towards a low heat, right? So that my fond doesn't burn, but the peppers and onions will continue to cook a little bit. They'll get soft. The natural sugars that are there will start to caramelize in the pan. Some of the juices will come out. And you're constantly stirring and moving as these juices come out, and that's gonna lift some of that fond from the pan onto the vegetables, and it'll create color and flavor and yumminess, right? All right. Now, that what I'm going to do here speed this up a little bit. So here I have my water bath. This is literally just water. So I'm just going to take a little bit and add this process here. This is called deglazing. You can see now how the pan underneath is clean, basically, right? So what that has done is that has lifted that fond from the pan. So that, boom, now you can see the color change and everything. The onions got a little darkness to them. All of that flavor is still there. Nothing is burnt. Now all of that flavor transfers from the pan back into the onions and peppers. All right. Now another little deal I have here. This is just a little bit of a red chili and tomatillo street taco sauce that I bought, right? I'm gonna add a little bit of that to these peppers and onions. Gonna be a nice little ranchero sauce. Go over my eggs. All right. Now this sauce, this is ready to go. Okay, sauce one ready. Boom, we're turning that off, right? Actually, we'll turn this one off so we can put this in the back. We'll bring this forward. And we'll turn this back on. So, now we're gonna make the Hollandaise. So, base of a Hollandaise, it's an emulsification sauce of clarified butter and egg yolks, right? So, this is going to be fun because this sauce is a lot easier to make if you're making a lot of it. I'm making a small amount of it, so my window for error here is even smaller, but that's okay. That's what we do. We challenge ourselves as chefs. So first thing I'm going to do is, obviously, like I said, you would have the clarified butter to begin with, and now I'm going to separate my eggs. All right, so one egg yolk. And it's this is kind of a fun little joke that I've had. Like this, there are certain flexes that chefs and line cooks can have if you want to go in and show off to a place, you know. Every once in a while, you get a guest who also wants to show off, and they'll say, "Hey, can I get some Béarnaise sauce?" Even though they know that there's no Béarnaise sauce on the menu, or there's nothing there that even is remotely close to that. And I've been in this situation where a guest asked for Béarnaise sauce, and I heard the server come in and say, "Hey, chef, I have a guest that wants Béarnaise." And the chef said, "Ah, you kidding me? What an asshole. We don't have Béarnaise sauce." And I heard that, and I went, "Chef, I can make you some Béarnaise." And he went, "What?" And I went, "Yeah, I'll make you some Béarnaise sauce." So I went, and I got all the stuff that I needed. And, granted, it took me 7 or 8 minutes, but I got it all together, and I made the Béarnaise sauce, and off you go. And later on, there was a little bit left in the bowl that when I had made the sauce, and the chef comes up to me and he says, "Wow, I can't believe you pulled that off. Never mind in the middle of the dinner rush, you actually made, one Hollandaise sauce, 1 egg Hollandaise sauce." I was like, "Chef, I gotta lie. I can't lie, and I gotta tell you the truth." He goes, "What do you mean?" "I didn't make a 1 egg Hollandaise sauce. I made a 2 egg Hollandaise sauce." He goes, "Well, that's still good enough." So I would joke with everybody all the time. The easiest way to make a 1 egg Hollandaise or Béarnaise, use 2. Okay, so here I have in here, this is 2 egg yolks. And I squeezed a little bit of lime juice into this, maybe a teaspoon slightly plus of lime juice into the egg yolks. Classic Hollandaise lemon juice. I'm using lime juice. I'm going to add a tiny little bit of water. That water is simply just going to strengthen the emulsification, make it stronger. So what's happening when you emulsify 2 things? It's an oil and a fat, right? So in this case, or a liquid and a fat. In this case, we're doing the eggs, and the fat is butter. So the first part of this, we need to make sure that the eggs are going to be safe so that they're not raw, right? So we need to cook the eggs, and that's what the water bath is for here. You want to cook them, but we don't want to scramble them, right? So we have the double boiler is going to be a much more gentle transfer of heat. The steam gets trapped underneath, heats up the bowl, and we're going to be constantly moving the eggs so that they don't get lumpy and scrambled and look like scrambled eggs. So you're constantly moving these eggs over the double boiler. Just make sure that they don't stick, and then make sure that they don't overcook. All right, you're constantly stirring and moving. I'm going to turn this up a little bit more, but not too much. Again, the idea here is to get a very gentle and smooth transfer of the heat to slowly heat up the egg yolks, and then they start to cook. They will still be liquidy, nice and creamy egg yolks, but they will cook. And you'll start to see them a little bit on the sides of the bowl. You'll start to see it start to cook. Hopefully the lighting here is, it's okay. It's not perfect, but shit, I made it even worse. All right. All right, now I'm gonna lift up a little bit. All right. So that's boom, that's done. Those are cooked. I'm gonna shut this off. All right. Heat my butter a little bit more, make sure the butter is good. At this point, I bring the eggs off the heat. Where is my, here we go. Off the heat. I'm gonna set them here. And heat this butter just briefly. Well, chefs will tell you clarify your butter. Well, but I guess what? You don't have to. I like fat. All right. So now move this here. Move this guy a little closer. Oops. Sorry here. This is where the whole process happens, right? This is where the whole process happens. Let's see if I can. That helps a little bit. Right, now, the eggs, drizzle the butter lightly, lightly, lightly. And the whole point of this is you need the butter to land right where the whisk is, so that you're pushing the butter, or you're pushing the eggs through the butter, and that makes your emulsification. This is the difficulty in making such a small amount. See, just little by little. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a little bit of this water now. Loosen it back up. All right, boom. There we go. You can see how that's still nice and liquidy, right? Saw how the eggs were all nice and cooked. Now we get a season. Just do, actually, you know what? It'd be nice here. I wish I had some tahini. Some tahini would be on point, but I'm gonna put a little adobo. Tiny smash of salt. One of the other staples for Hollandaise is Tabasco. We don't put the black pepper so we don't see the flakes of the black pepper. We put a little Tabasco. And I'm gonna put some chipotle chili pepper. There are many versions of a Hollandaise sauce. I can smell it. It smells good. So now here what we got. Give it a little taste. Cute little tasting spoon. All right, boom. Wow, that's really good. That is really good. All right, I'm gonna put the rest of this butter in here. Waste not, want not. Boom. Wow. All right, keep that there so it stays warm. You can go here, you can go there, you can go in there. I'm gonna put all these away. Two more eggs here. Make my mise en place. Alright, so we're gonna let that get nice and warm, right? Now, I am going to toast that right on the fire. I'm going to get this side nice and toasty. And we have some refried beans. I'm going to spread on that side. All right. Boom. Now I'm going to put this here. Spread these beans. All right. Kind of like a tostada here. Now this pan isn't on. I'm using this. All right. Boom. So, but now we're going to toast that side. All right. I'm going to toast that side. Let's turn this down a little bit. This over here. Here. We put a piece of cheese. Throw some cheese on that bitch. Throw some cheese on that bitch. Boom. All right. One piece of cheese. Why not 2 pieces of cheese? All right. There we go. Back to the mise en place tray with all of that. Now we're going to turn this pan on because we're going to fry my eggs. I can shut that off because that's all nice and toasty. Pan of butter, fry some eggs. So butter is my favorite thing to cook eggs in. A lot of chefs will tell you butter is the only thing to cook eggs in. I'm not that pretentious. I said that pretentious. All right, now we'll show you guys another little trick with eggs here. All right, what you can do so that I have a bowl right there, so that you know. For me, I like my eggs sunny side up, and I want my yolk to be nice and runny. You want your yolk to be nice and, together and whole. And add a little oil too. Okay. And this is a restaurant trick because there's nothing worse than you getting your ass kicked on Sunday brunch or Saturday brunch, and all you gotta do is get 2 sunny side eggs up and out and on this plate so it can get out and get to the poor guest out in the dining room. And every time you grab an egg, it's like the second you open the egg, the yolk is already broken. It's just like frustrating. So, whenever you're cracking an egg, flat surface, hopefully, yep, see, already broken, right? Now, I can put that aside. I can add it to scrambled eggs, but I want whole fried eggs. Grab another egg, all right? All set. Boom, now I know my yolks are gonna hold together. And we're gonna have no problem. Now I know my pan is nice and hot. My butter and oil nice and hot. In they go. There's a little shell there, it won't hurt you, but you can pull it out. Alright, I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator to use for later, because I'm making cookies, so that'll be perfect. Tune in later, I'll show you the cookies that I made. Now the other key when you're cooking eggs, nice, slow, controlled heat. You don't want to, unless you like over fried and brown eggs. As a chef, eggs are one of 2 colors, white or yellow. White or yellow. Okay. Now, I don't know about you, but when I get my eggs, they don't come seasoned. So we gotta put a little salt and pepper. I don't have to go too crazy with the seasoning on the eggs because I got this nice sauce that I'm gonna use. And the Hollandaise. Little black pepper. Alright. You can already see the eggs. The whites are cooking up all nice here. Alright. White's cooking all nice. Oh, you're in your own shadow. Sorry, everybody. Look at that. Look at that. Boom. Let them eggies cook. Eggy Weggies. Bonus points. Anybody knows what Eggy Weggies is from? Eggy Eggs and Steaky Wakes? Yeah. If you know that, you're almost as much of a sick fuck as I am. Alright, there's today's F-bomb. So, now, what I do want to do is heat up my tortilla just a little bit. So I'm going to turn that flame on a tiny. Heat the sauce up a little bit. I know my Hollandaise good to go. Yeah, Hollandaise is still there. Or my Lymandaise. Tex-Mexy Hollandaise, however you want to call it. Nice, yeah. My eggs are going to stay nice and be nice and loose. Loosey-loosey. Turn this. Yum. All right. Looking good. Looking good. All right. Now, if you want, you like your eggs a little bit more cooked, right? You can cover them a little bit. Catch some of the steam in there. Another restaurant trick. Right, if you have your water here next to you, you take just a little bit of this water. That pan's hot, right? That's gonna create steam. Now you catch the steam with the lid. Whammo! Look at that! Look at that sauce! Oh my God! Look at that sauce! Look at that! I'm gonna be like, that's not eggs. Like, yeah, man, that's eggs. Look at that. That's emulsification. Boom. Okay. Sauce is done. Tortilla is nice and crispy and hot. Look at those. Isn't it beautiful? Eggs. And eggs are beautiful, man. All right. Alright, we're shutting the flame off. We're coming over for final plate up. Boom. Boom. Hollandaise. Boom. I like some cilantro. I'm gonna chop this up real quick. Boom, we'll give it some fresh cilantro. Me, I love cilantro. All right. You want to make it pretty again? Take a nice little lime wheel. Boom. Let's put that in the middle. Hey, boom. More taco sauce. A little sauce here. Boom. 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 Look at that. Huevos Rancheros. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I'm gonna go eat that shit.